What is good, people, and welcome back to the Hype Report. Thank you very much for all the support on the first episode. It went down really well. We're back for more. So we're going to be starting with the weekly roundup. We had quite a lot of stuff go down last week, and we're going to start with Supreme and Bless, a collaboration that dropped on Thursday. So starting off with the Supreme Bless collaboration, it dropped Thursday last week, and we saw a sweatshirt, a jacket, and a few other lookbook pieces from Supreme. The main two pieces from the collaboration was this crazy puffer jacket. It was like kind of this stained glass window vibe. It actually retailed for £600. It was a hard pass for me, just a bit too much going on. We also saw, or the kind of like other hyped item of the drop was this Bless Supreme crew neck, just like Bless Supreme spell out embroidered onto the chest. They probably should have done way more with it, but it was a bit boring, so I passed on that. I mean, it was okay, came in 3 colorways. The gray was quite nice, but I still avoided that. There was a few good lookbook items. There was an interesting Supreme kind of Tipp-Ex correction pen. We also saw a Supreme dinner plate, which retailed at a stupid amount of money. It was like 1.4K, so I passed on that. I ain't spending that amount of money on kitchen equipment. And then there's a balaclava, a bit dead, a few other lookbook items which were just a bit dry. The skateboard from Supreme and Bless was nice, but nothing really screamed out to me. They did actually drop this reverse jean and sweatpants, so it had like denim jeans on the front and then joggers on the back, which is a little bit overhyped for my liking. I think people were kind of like really fucking with that, but it was just really, really shit. I don't know how people can even respectfully wear it, but another hard pass. And the rest of the drop was just a bit mediocre. I'll probably give the collaboration and the drop in general like a 5 or 6 out of 10 from me. We also saw a leak of Pharrell's $1 million Speedy bag. It was actually first leaked on Rihanna, I think, and it's been seen on like A$AP Rocky, and I think PJ Tucker was the guy who actually brought the leak like on Instagram, and that kind of disclosed the colorways we're getting. It's like yellow, blue, red. Anyway, the whole point of this bag is kind of like a big marketing stunt. It retails at $1 million, which is just mental. And even if you did have that kind of money, it's going to be nearly impossible to get because you've got to be on their client list, and it's just fucking mental. It's really, really weird how Louis Vuitton kind of go about that. But the actual bag features like emeralds, diamonds, gold, like it's just crazy. If you've got that amount of money, like, man, you've got to be spending it on something different, bro. But yeah, I would say it's pass for me, but realistically, I can't afford it, so it's just neutral. One of my favorite things that went down this week was the Tight Booth SB raffles opened up. We also kind of got rumored that there's 75,000 pairs, which is quite a good stock number. So I'm praying for a W. And these released on Tuesday, which I think is the 14th maybe. You might have to correct me in the edit, I don't actually know. But I think by the time this podcast goes out, it should be the next day or so. But raffles are now available, so you can actually enter across multiple different retailers. They are dropping on the Sneakers app, and it will be at 8 AM. I think it's like £120. They're actually a really sick shoe. They're kind of a white and black variation, and the white has these ripple effect in them, which is really nice. It comes in 3 lace colorways as well. You've got black, orange, and white. They look a bit dry with just like the black laces, but I think if you kind of wear the orange laces, the shoe has this really nice pop because there's a few orange elements on the sneaker as well. So yeah, it's going to be that is the one shoe I really, really want next week. So yeah, probably a good solid 8, 9 out of 10 for me, and I will be trying to cop. So if sneakers does me good, we will be walking away happy. We also saw the Cortez drop on Friday. They released a big Parker jacket. I think it's called the BIG Bolo. So it was another variation of the previous Bolo puffer. This time it comes in a Parker. It was cool. I passed on it purely because it's not my type of jacket, but it looked decent. We also saw a £700 leather jacket, which I think there was only like 750 pieces available. I could be wrong, but I saw that on Clint's story, I think. But this is just me guessing. I can't actually remember what goes on in my head. But yeah, I passed on that. Obviously, I couldn't really afford 700 quid on that. It's not really my thing either, but yeah, it was okay. But I think these are all set at the time of release. They sat for ages. I don't know if they eventually did sell out, but unlike Cortez, they weren't super popular. I think because you had a few hype drops previously. You had a matching denim set as well, a Cortez knit, a tracksuit, which was kind of giving me 80s, 90s vibes, which was pretty cool. And it also had the restock of the yellow kind of waterproof piece, which was super popular, but again, I passed on this one. Save some funds for future releases. We also saw the release of the Jordan 1 Royal Reimagined, which actually didn't sell out at all. There was literally a full size run on the Sneakers app, which is mental. I think we can confirm now the Jordan 1 hype is literally officially gone. It's been kind of like floating for a while now. It's been dead for a long time. But I think now it has properly died. The hype has never been lower. It's actually mental that we're actually seeing a reimagined shoe like this, like a really hyped Jordan 1 colorway, just sat on sneakers, a complete full size run. I don't think there was one size that sold out. Usually what happens is a few sizes will sell out on sneakers app, regardless of the hype of the colorway. Even because it's a Jordan 1 height, will still mostly sell out, and then they will be available on other like retailers like Foot Locker and other places like that, and JD. But complete full size run of sneakers. So the Jordan 1 hype is gone. Nike are also in the news again as they're allegedly in the process of suing New Balance and Skechers for their collaboration of using the trademarked Nike Flyknit technology on their latest release, I believe. There's not too much news on that, but I know Nike have got quite a few legal cases open at the moment, apparently with StockX and now New Balance and Skechers, so they are doing the most. Man United striker Marcus Rashford has released his first sneaker with Nike, and we are blessed enough to have it in hand here. Nike have sent it over to us, so let's take a look. It's a Nike Air Max Pulse, and it's kind of a combination of two things. It's kind of like a casual Air Max sneaker, but then also a sporty shoe. I guess they're kind of trying to capture two elements of Rashford's life. Maybe I actually have no idea what they're thinking of behind the shoe is, but what it does have is this kind of mixture of two swooshes. It has the small Nike swoosh, which is like a metallic and actually stuck onto the sneaker, and a reflective, kind of a reflective larger swoosh that is covered by a bit of the leather running across the middle of the sneaker. It comes in a grey colorway mixed with white. There are quite a few features going on. I don't particularly love it. One cool feature this shoe does have is it has this gradient red to kind of yellow and white insole, which is pretty pointless because you can't see it, but it's a nice feature for sure. On the tip of the lace, you have some Marcus Rashford branding with MR, and the same goes on the tongue as well. There's definitely never been a closer time football and fashion have been together. We've recently seen Arsenal collaborated with Maharishi. PSG and Jordan obviously have an ongoing collaboration. Man United have recently collaborated with Dramacool early in the year. So football and fashion is definitely really close at the moment. The retail on the Marcus Rashford crepe is around £155 depending on retailers. On Nike itself is actually £155, which is quite a lot considering it's a pretty unproven collaboration. But I guess anything with Rashford's name is gonna do relatively well. However, there is a full size run on Nike. They haven't sold out. So it'd be interesting to see where Nike and Marcus Rashford take this any further, if they stick with this Nike Air Max silhouette or if they do something different. And both subcultures are definitely overlapping way more now to produce stuff like this. The shoe also does feature some orange elements, some on the midsole with the Nike MR and Air Max branding, and there is a small little air bubble on the bottom bit of plastic with the kind of bright mango orange colorway. And yeah, some little nice personal detailing, I guess, if you're a big Marcus Rashford fan. Leading on from the Rashford sneaker, we also had probably the biggest fashion trend of the summer, and that was the football shirt wave. Everyone was rocking bloke core in these football shirts, vintage football shirts. Every club you can imagine. There were some really cool shirts, and I really actually did fuck with the trend. I'm a big football fan, and I was pleased to see them getting the love they deserve, because some of them are really unique, very expensive. They have a lot of value, some of these football shirts, to a lot of collectors, but it was a really good trend. Probably my favorite trend we saw this year, to be honest. I'm pleased that they got the love they definitely deserve. So I brought in a few of my favorite ones. So we're starting with this 2005 Barcelona home shirt. It is really sick. My favorite thing about this, or the actual, the fact that it doesn't have this, is there's no sponsorship, which is sick. And the center swoosh with the Nike and the badge all centralized in that kind of stripe is fucking beautiful. You've got the old Nike tag, which is really fire. Nothing on the back, it's just a really nice kind of cropped fit. A bit of branding on the sleeve. And I think I paid about 60, 70 quid for this in the summer. I bought it off Depop just before the kind of wave really started. I think you can probably buy this now. If you wanted to buy this exact shirt, it's quite hard to put an actual price on it, but it might be between 60 and 100 quid. Maybe towards the latter because of the hype of the trend. But yeah, really sick shirt. It's just definitely one of my kind of top 5 in my collection. We've also got this 2005 Real Madrid David Beckham shirt. Now, this is really nice. It's definitely one of my favorites, but purely because it has 23 Beckham on the back. I don't know how much I spent on this. Probably not as much as the Barcelona shirt. I think there's quite a lot of these made. It's from 2005 to 2006, maybe. And yeah, this is a really, really popular shirt. It's not as rare as the Barcelona shirt, but it's still cool. I felt like I needed to kind of like some nice vintage El Clasico shirts in my collection. It's Adidas as opposed to Barcelona's Nike branding. The white's clean. The fact it's got the Beckham's branding on the back probably gives it a little bit extra value. And yeah, this is definitely a really good shirt in my collection. There's a few imperfections. It has definitely been worn quite a lot. Not holes as such, but a couple of nicks and kind of imperfections, if you like. But yeah, really, really fire shirt at a good price. Probably pick this up these days for like 40 to 50 pounds on eBay. Because of the crazy football shirt wave in the summer, we saw a lot of streetwear brands start to bring out their own football shirt variations. So I have the Cortez one here. I'm not sure what month this released in, maybe towards the end of summer. I think they may have used this in an actual like Cortez charity match. I'm not sure, kind of a five-a-side type thing. Yeah, pretty cool. It's this, I don't even know what colorway you call this. It's blue and white. Has this maybe like, I would say Aztec branding pattern. I'm not sure if it is Aztec, but it's just the first thing that came to my mind. Cortez 18 on the front, because that's when the 18 is their number, when it was Clint founded the brand in 2018. Cortez branding on the crest, both crests, rules the world on the other one. And then just some other Cortez logos on the back, the star and the C. And I think these are really, really expensive actually. I think they're probably like £100, but the quality, to be fair to Cortez on this, is absolutely excellent. And I am pleased brands started to do this over summer. They definitely did get pretty saturated towards the end of like August, September, because there was I feel like every brand every upcoming streetwear brand under the sun was doing it. But yeah, again, I love the trend of football shirts, so I didn't really mind brands doing this. And I did pick up a few. I bought a couple from Cortez. I think I bought the Broken Planet one as well. And yeah, it was a trend I could definitely get behind, and I'm pleased streetwear brands kind of picked this up. Now, on the subject of football shirts, I had to bring something from my club, Watford. Unfortunately, I'm a Watford fan, and I get absolutely rinsed for it. But this is actually probably the rarest shirt I own, purely because there was no demand for it. No one wanted to buy a Watford shirt. But if actually trying to find this online, it's literally fucking impossible. So we got promoted in 2006. And it was a playoff final, which wasn't actually at Wembley, it was in Cardiff because Wembley was being built. And yeah, this is actually Ashley Young 15 on the back. It has the Coca-Cola Football League badges on the sides when they used to double badge the arms. It's long sleeve, which is something you don't see much anymore. Yeah, it's made by Diadora. I don't know if they still make too many kits. But I think it's sick, man. It just resembles absolutely everything I love about Watford. Like the colors are perfect, the red and black, but there's not too much of it. You see in a lot of modern kits these days, just like so much going on. I feel like just a little bit of branding on the side, a little bit of design element going on was really cool. And just the rest of the shirt, it's just beautiful, man. And it also, a lot of football shirts used to have this kind of crew neck, like this high neck. You definitely don't see that anywhere near as much anymore. It's kind of this flimsy raised neckline. And it looks good for me, who are like skinny boys who aren't like packing. They make you look a little bit bigger. So I like that kind of crew neck vibe. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite shirts. I won't speak about it too long because no one, rightfully so, really cares about Watford. But yeah, I have a massive, me and my dad, probably like our like bonding thing is like collecting Watford shirts, and he has loads and spent a stupid amount of money over the years on it. And that might have been one of like the ways I actually got into fashion, was taking a little bit of interest in like the value of vintage shirts. So yeah, a bit of a backstory. Supreme also released a new colorway of their iconic Air Force collaboration, which is the brown colorway to go alongside the wheat, white and black. We're fortunate enough today to have them all alongside me, and we're going to review them and rank them and see which ones are the best. They're kind of reselling on the secondary market between £120 to £200. So let's get it. So we've got the most recent variation of the Supreme Air Force, which is the brown colorway in hand now. It's just a normal Air Force with a Supreme box logo printed into just above the midsole. And the brown colorway is really nice. I must admit, I wasn't expecting to like this much. If you compare this to the wheat colorway, which we'll get into on a minute, that has a much more kind of suede finish, where I like a leather Air Force. I feel like you can't really go wrong with a leather Air Force. Yeah, that's it. The colorway is good. You have the Supreme world famous laces available as well. You can switch them out with. And I'm pleasantly surprised with how these came out. We also have the wheat colorway, which is probably the biggest contrast from the other three colors. Not just purely because it's a different color, but there is some different features. It has the gum sole, the kind of rope laces, which is a nice feature. And it's just covered in suede, which is, like I said previously, I prefer a leather shoe for sure, but these do look really smart. They're probably too smart for me. I love a gum sole, but I have passed on these. I actually own a pair of these at the moment, but they are really, really clean. And if you are that type of guy who likes that kind of smart casual vibe, but still wants to get the brand in and the badge in a little bit, these are definitely for you. We also have probably the most popular, at least one of the two most popular colorways, which is the iconic white. The main difference with this shoe is the laces. They have the red laces, and if you've seen anyone wearing a Supreme Air Force, you've probably seen them rocking the red laces. I think they're ugly as hell. I really don't like them. It's just a Supreme all over print on a really bright lace. It's not for me. I think if you are gonna rock the Supreme white Air Forces, rock them without the red laces. They are really clean, and again, it is just an Air Force with a Supreme badge printed onto them, but I think they're probably my favorite purely because I do love a white sneaker, but I would never wear them with the red laces. And finally, if you are looking for trouble or up something maybe a little bit dodgy and you want to be a little bit rebellious, the Black Air Force Energy is for you. The Supreme Black Air Force, again, really nice, simple like the white one and the other colors, just the branding on the side of the shoe. These do also come with the black and white laces, which I do prefer much more than the red laces on the white one. I just think they look kind of ugly. The contrast is kind of mad. But yeah, they're really cool. Nice shoe. Can't go wrong with an Air Force One. Market value on these is probably one of the most expensive of the Supreme Air Force collection. You're probably looking at around 180, 190, joined with the Wheat Air Force colorway. So if I was to rank all the Supreme Air Force variations, I'll probably put the Wheat as my least favorite. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big suede guy. And then the brown leather, the brown's okay, but they're just a little bit stale for my liking. And then the black and the white are pretty joint, but I've gone with the black second and the white just pinch it. I feel like either one you can't really go wrong with, but for me, it's personal preference for me between the black and the white, and I'm always gonna lean with the white. But like I said, I would never rock the red laces. Yeah, so best Supreme white, then Supreme black, then Supreme brown leather, and then the brown wheat to finish it off in bottom spot. One of my most frequent messages is people asking if I can legit check their North Face puffer jacket. So I'm gonna show you a few things you can look out for. It's not a definitive 100% thing, but it's a few techniques I've learned over the years of how to make sure you're getting a real deal. Well, the first misconception about this jacket is people, when they're trying to legit check it, actually look at the size tag label. This is completely pointless. I've seen a multitude of fakes that are literally completely identical to this. I had a fake one back in 2021, which got sent to me out of the blue. Well, like I bought a real one, I got sent a fake one off Depop or eBay at the time, I can't remember what it was. But I compared this exact jacket to the fake one, and I kid you not, this was literally identical. So you do not want to look at this, don't pay any attention to it. Unless it's a terrible fake, you might see some imperfections in it. But where you're gonna see or gonna need most of your senses is in these kind of tags at the bottom. Now, a lot of the fake jackets won't actually have this tag right here. I don't know if you boys can see that. The tag's basically kind of disclaiming the down in the jacket that it's 100% authentic. A lot of the fakes I've seen do not have this. They just won't have this tag. They have all the other stuff, the kind of the barcode, the shiny code, a couple of the smaller tags, but the majority of them won't have this big long tag. Some of the really good fakes will, so obviously I don't know what every batch of fake North Face jacket. However, some won't have this kind of tag, so really look out for that. If yours doesn't have that and it's a fairly recent release, be fucking careful. The other big thing I noticed when I was legit checking North Face puffer jackets was that this stitching here was like just really, really bad. So you can see the stitching is pretty straight, it's good, it's kind of clean. Some of the fakes ones will be messy because the stitching isn't as premium, it's just kind of a bit shit internally. So, make sure your line's straight on the stitching, no kind of double stitching, no cross stitching, nothing weird, nothing too loose. And finally, the other call out sign is still on this tag, but it's away from the stitching. It's actually to do with the boldness of the lettering. The fake one I had not too long ago didn't have any bold font here. It had all of this detail, as you can see on the screen right now, but it didn't have that second line in bold. It was all kind of in the same font. So you got to make sure, if you've got a recent North Face jacket, I think this was from 2018, 2019, I assume they're the same in the 2023 batches, 2022 batches that most people have at the moment. So yeah, look out for this bold text right here. I also have another variation of the North Face puffer jacket. It's a collaboration with Supreme that I believe released last year in season 2022. Yeah, it's really cool. It doesn't actually have the iconic North Face Supreme badge. It's just printed in, which is kind of mad. It's got this kind of paper ripple effect, which is quite nice. And yeah, I really fuck with it. It's the same jacket as we've just reviewed, exactly the same 700 Nupsy variation. I think retail on this would have been like 350 maybe, 400? Yeah, between maybe 350, 450, I'm not entirely sure. Market value is probably around that. You can probably pick it up around that price. It's not insanely high, but it is a really nice jacket. And the actual North Face retail these days is literally increased from like 250 from a few years ago to now £315. And that's just like the normal, completely normal North Face variation, like just the normal jacket, no Supreme collaboration, nothing fancy going on, just the all down black jacket. And when these kind of collaborations are getting like close to the same retail as just a normal jacket, you know, when things are really kind of crazy. Because I mean, buying a Supreme puffer at the same price of a completely normal North Face puffer a few years ago is just like absolutely mental to me. So yeah, I think if you are on the market for a North Face puffer jacket, I genuinely do recommend, I'm not just saying this because I love Supreme, but I do recommend looking at other variations, maybe on the secondary market. You can pick up collaborated pieces for probably the same price, but they might even have more value. And they have a little bit more personality. Everyone's rocking a black Northie these days or whatever. So maybe get one with a little bit of a different design, and you can find that with collaborations like Supreme. So this week, I bought one of my favorite shoes of all time, another variation of the Off-White Nike Dunk lots that I think maybe released in 2020, I can't remember. There's so much going on in the shoe. They released 50 lots, so 50 kind of different variation of the models, 1 to 50. They're all the same colorway bar 2. You have a white and the black one. I think the white might be lot 1 or black might be 50. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, all the colorways in between the 48 all come with gray and white, and they all have kind of contrasting laces, which are pretty mad, and a few other small details that are different, but overall they're obviously very, very similar crepes. Now, one of these is fake. So for Kicksforce, which is my sneaker reselling business, a lot of our followers send shoes in, and someone sent in this week a fake pair of Off-White Nike Dunks. This is lot 33 out of the 50, and my authentic pair that I have today is lot 48. So there obviously is a few natural differences because one is heavily used, which is my pair, and they are a different shoe to a degree, or at least a different variation. But there's a few bits I'm going to run through that can help you maybe authenticate your pair, or a few kind of pointers that can kind of differentiate between the authentic and the fake pair. So now the first massive call out with this fake Nike Dunk is I noticed this tab on this midsole is way too small. So I don't know if they contrast each, like per lot, like each shoe. I imagine they do a little bit, but this is still far too small, right? Way too small. And it's just, yeah, it feels completely rough. It feels really cheap. It almost feels like light plastic and really tacky, whilst the authentic one feels a little bit heavier and a little bit more premium. The other big giveaway that I noticed straight away, and I could tell they were just fake instantly as soon as I opened the box, was that the Off-White shoelace branding on the shoelaces, like the print, is so much thinner on the fake pair than the authentic pair. So the authentic pair on like most Off-Whites is a fairly kind of bold shoelaces, right? With the commas, it's quite bold, it's quite obvious. But with the fake pair, I'm not sure you guys can see this on the camera, but if you can, it is really thin. It's kind of a different font, and it's a bit wonky. So again, kind of a quality imperfection is a really good way to spot the difference with this. What else we got? With shoes like these, because there's so much going on and there's so much like small intricate detailing, they are really hard to kind of get a one-on-one, which is like a perfect fake, to get it. And if you look at them side by side, you still need a really kind of like good eye, but they are quite easy to spot, especially at the small detailings, the text. I mean, literally as I'm speaking here, one of the letterings on the fake shoe has came off. So the H is now, I don't know what the fuck letter that is now, but yeah, that is no longer a H. And obviously if you compare that with the authentic one, the text isn't going anywhere, but a few rubs on the fake one, yeah, look, it's already rubbing off, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, literally now it's gone. So if you are looking for authentic sneakers, because there's so many fakes out there, you do really need to be careful. Like the market is absolutely flooded. Me personally, so like for sneakers, I like have in my personal collection and also sell. Like we have buyers for my Kicksforce brand, which is like our reselling store. We buy a lot of stuff from eBay and Depop. eBay's great because they actually have their own authenticity guarantee for shoes over £100. So what you do is, say if I was to buy this shoe, I'll buy it from an independent seller, they send it to eBay, who middleman it, they authenticate it, and they're fucking brilliant, to be fair, to eBay, because what happens is, if the shoe is fake, they call you up, they literally physically call you, which is like so foreign in this day and age, and they just tell you you're getting a refund in 5 days time because your shoe didn't pass their authenticity guarantee check. which is just like a blessing, bro, because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about them being legit. You just have to trust them, which is super easy because they are really, really good, to be fair to them. I use Depop as well, purely because the shoes on there can be a little bit cheaper because there isn't any authenticity guarantee, but I know how to legit check to a degree. And a lot of the boys who work with me are like way, way better than I am. So like we kind of buy a lot of stuff off Depop, and we do have to return quite a bit because we have to prove to Depop some of the fakes do come in. Like these, for example, I've got to go back to Depop or wherever the boys bought them from, and we now got to complain and get our money back. That we will, because we can prove it, but it is really, really difficult in this day and age. Look, one of the tricks a lot of these scammers do at the moment is they actually have like a fake receipt. There's just like a photoshopped receipt. So what will happen is when you go to Depop, for example, they will go back to the seller and literally be like, bro, like we need a receipt or proof of purchase of this product, or you're gonna have to like pay the buyer a refund, in this case, which is me. So you have to send them their money back. But what a lot of the scammers now have kind of clocked onto, they actually have like a fake full-on receipt, which is mental. So you've got it's really, really important, more so than ever now, that you really know what you're looking for. There are some good apps out there. I'm not sure what are the best at the moment, but I have used CheckCheck previously. We use CheckCheck as well on Kickforce, and they're pretty good. I think it's like £2 for a 2-hour check. So you send some pictures of your shoes in, and you got to wait 2 hours, and someone will authenticate them for you, and then you get a green light or red light. And yeah, so be careful out of people. Be safe when buying, and if it's too good to be true, like the price is too good to be true, it probably is. That is it for today's episode, people. Thank you very much for tuning in. The podcast is available on all mainstream podcast platforms. So tune in Monday, 6 p.m. I'll see you there.